Hey, why are you playing this game?
I know, it's like so much worse than the first one.
Like you would know the difference.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that girls suck at video games.
Here, give me that. Why don't you just go get your nails done or something?
You're at a video game store where you see a gamer being harassed simply because of her gender. Do you let the bullying play on, or do you step in and tell the boys, game over? What would you do?
What do you think of when you hear the term gamer girl? I've seen plenty of people wrinkle a nose in disgust at the term. Why though? What is so bad about gamer girls? In this video essay, I would like to take the time to explore women in gaming through a feminist lens and link peer-reviewed texts to the introduction of The Bodies That Matter by Judith Butler and a HuffPost article entitled Why Instagram Censored My Body by Petra Collins. The first source I want to look at in order to ease into the topic is player perspectives, what it means to be a gamer. So what and who are gamers anyway? Mentioned in the introductory section of the paper itself, there's a perception of gamers as people lacking social skills and other qualities such as dominance and popularity, not required to thrive in mainstream society, but these traits do contribute to fitting in. Of the three interviewed, two identify as gamers, and the one female calls herself a player of video games rather than a gamer, distancing herself from the commonly male-associated term. Despite her commitment to gaming every day, like the two men, the woman in the study was not noted as a hardcore gamer, likely as a result of the types of video games she plays. In the article Why Instagram Censored My Body, Collins says, "Recently, I had my Instagram account deleted. I did nothing that violated the terms of use. No nudity, violence, pornography, unlawful, hateful, or infringing imagery. What I did have was an image of my body that didn't meet society's standard of femininity. This standard of femininity is what I see as the reason for Radhika distancing herself from being known as a gamer. She is a girl who plays video games. However, she doesn't act like gamers do. Her games of choice are more feminine, such as her interest in fitness games or diner mobile games. Each of the interviewees has a different definition of gamer and varying ideal gamer criteria. Burgov's mental image of an ideal gamer is that of a cross-platform male player who is open to playing all genres of games and always looking forward to new gaming experiences. Radhika visualizes her ideal gamer as a male player whose primary gaming device is a custom-made PC, as she feels that a gamer must be, one, not only aware of the game she wants to play, but also aware of the hardware required to enable an ideal gaming experience. She concludes by saying, he needs to be able to build the computer he imagines in order to play the best he can. Ishan's ideal gamer is his friend who goes by the gamer tag Brutality in the world of League of Legends. Brutality is a top-ranked pro player who has spent about 5 hours a day playing League of Legends every day for the past 5 years. The one female in the study comments on her feeling of inadequacy or impostership when it comes to being a gamer, saying, "At times, I feel that I have to put on a facade when people ask me what games I play. I reel off the names of a few fancy current titles like the current Call of Duty or Need for Speed because I feel I am judged when I say games like Mortal Kombat or Just Dance. Somehow I feel the games I play are not gamer-worthy, but I am fine with that. We do play for fun, and I have the most fun playing Mortal Kombat or in virtual kitchens, and in the long run, that's what matters." Despite playing video games for roughly the same amount of years, our lone female is the only one in the group who feels the requirement to hide what she enjoys in order to appear more credible as a gamer. All three believe the ideal gamer is a male. However, their criteria aside from that differ based on their own experiences with gaming. There is the additional pressure placed on female gamers to perform a certain way in order to appease the community. Girl gamers hold themselves and their gender as a whole to higher standards than male gamers do, as seen in the case of this specific study. Linking back to the bodies that matter, female gamers assume their role in association to others in the community, and their role is predetermined by those who are already participating in gamer culture. Radhika has chosen to opt out of the roles she feels have been set for girl gamers by referring to herself as a player rather than a gamer, yet she still rattles off the new titles that the proper gamers would be saying when asked. In the context of such a male-dominated culture, female gamers have a disadvantage as the other for simply being the gender that they are. Next, I would like to switch gears a bit and have a look at female gaming, gaming addiction, and the role of women within gaming culture, a narrative literature review. This paper is taking a look at a number of studies and compiling the results. I found it intriguing that the difference in the brain chemistry between males and females could be a contributing factor to the differing ways in which gamers experience gaming and gamer culture. Female gamers appear to be more susceptible to experiencing gaming addiction, and at the same time, it is less likely to be noticed as disordered gaming because disordered gaming behaviors present differently in men. Mentioned in Why Instagram Censored My Body, I'm used to seeing cover after cover featuring stories about a popular celebrity being fat-shamed during pregnancy. I'm used to seeing reviews of an award show performance that critiques a female singer for being slutty, but then fails to even mention the older male behind her. There's a double standard in the media. Men go without consequence, and women have to endure it all. They are required by society to cope with the constant verbal abuse from men, whether she is in the gaming sphere or not. Like the example of the female gamer in the previously discussed study, video game players are often excluded from gaming culture. Women are harassed and ostracized from gaming culture, no matter her skill level. As nicely summarized in the review itself, 2 types of harms appear to be associated with female gaming at present. 1, the personal harm of potential gaming addiction at an individual and psychopathological level, and 2, the societal harm of stigmatizing female gaming at a community and psychosocial level. The clip from What Would You Do that I've included is just one fabricated example of harassment targeted towards females in gaming. Belle Delphine is widely infamous for her gamer girl bathwater stunt, and many female Twitch streamers have to cope with online harassment based on their gender, but that will be discussed further later on in this essay. Women have potential health detriments if gaming is a hobby of theirs, and despite this, as female gaming, gaming addiction, and the role of women within gaming culture, a narrative literature review points out, there is little research out there pertaining to women gamers at all. Despite the fact that gaming is a hobby split fairly equally among the binary genders, as pointed out in this review itself, studies are more likely to cater to male gamers and many don't have random sampling, a practice that can skew data immensely when not used. Studies that were included in this review tend to include small sample sizes, so the data extrapolated from them may not be the most accurate. However, they can still be utilized as a point of discussion. A positive difference in the brains of male and female gamers is that female gamers have been noted to have greater neural plasticity than male counterparts. The nerd in me appreciates this neat tidbit that leads to questions about how gaming affects different genders, and personally I wonder if women's brains may be more suited to problem-solving tasks. This review also mentions that women may be less good at gaming overall, solely due to the lack of time for this hobby, because women have more social roles and obligations to fill than men. The third paper we will be examining is girl gamers and their relationship with gaming culture. And much like our last source, it also briefly examines how women have less free time than men and therefore less time to partake in gaming as a hobby. Women have to spend so much more time around the home participating in invisible labor, whereas males can spend home time gaming or doing other leisure activities. Though this study is inclusive of all ages, it does seem to focus more on child girl gamers and how they perceive themselves. I find it intriguing to see the very insightful comments by some of these young girls about feeling like an outcast in the gaming community, even at such a young age. An example of this is displayed here in the following quote. This child gamer has noticed how she is excluded from the community because games don't cater to her interests or the interests of her particular demographic. Much of this paper had me realizing that girls are taught to be excluded from the gamer community from a young age. They are the designated watcher in a group of boys playing games. They ask male counterparts for help rather than feeling skilled enough to problem solve on their own. Girls often share a console with the family or with their siblings, meaning they don't necessarily get priority when it comes to using it. Even within the paper itself, the authors say girl gamers believe that they experience gaming culture as secondary gamers, as owning a console does not guarantee them playing rights. Neither does it allow them to excuse themselves from housework as it does for males. Women are taught to be secondary to men in all aspects, not just gaming. A girl must always be feminine first and her own person with her own interests second, after her duties to society are filled. Why Instagram censored my body is showing that a girl is not her own person. She is a puppet, posed to be pretty for all to see, or else she is icky and denounced as other. Women are taught how to correctly fulfill their roles as feminized objects before anything else, and their interests must also be cute and feminine in order to be correct. One of the adult gamers in the study shared her thought on more masculine games. And she ensures to mention what kind of gaming experience is acceptable for her. Now, for the final paper that I wanted to discuss, Gender Moderation and Moderating Gender, Sexual Content Policies in Twitch's Community Guidelines. Twitch is a streaming platform owned by Amazon and is primarily used to stream video game content, such as Let's Plays, a genre of video game content where the streamer plays a game and the viewer watches, somewhat similar to how they would if you were waiting for your turn to play in a social setting. The majority of Twitch users are male, and as seen in the graphic shown on screen, the vast majority of users are 16 to 34. Twitch, much like the rest of the gaming community, is rife with harassment targeted towards women and girls. However, on this platform, the harassment takes a different form. Twitch became more strict surrounding sexual content, but many have used this as an excuse to report female Twitch users. And this increased rule over sexuality has been taken as a loosely disguised tack on the female streaming community, unfairly censoring women's bodies. As noted in the paper, there has been some speculation on male Twitch users targeting women because women have been becoming monetarily successful and therefore our competition to be brought down. Despite this, harassment towards girl gamers is nothing new and has been shown in the examples previously to be independent of success of the gamer girl in question. This, however, could potentially be at least part of the reason why the harassment of female Twitch users gets so vile. Much of the critique against female streamers is sexist and loaded with whorephobic language, referring to streamers as booby streamers or titty streamers. This bodied language is degrading and uncomfortable and often includes the sexualization of women who weren't looking to be sexualized solely for their anatomy.
So yeah, I've stopped deleting clips of my ass because it's just an endless task. All I have to do is the small crime of getting up off my chair, that's all. Just walking away from the camera is all it takes. I have to walk away from my camera in a very specific way now because like people keep taking clips of my ass. So like now I have to walk away like this. Like this.
Awkward way. Yeah,
I get the same problem.
I don't know why people do it because there's actual porn. Like, you're one Google search away from finding actual porn. Why wait for 4 or 5 hours in the hope that I need to go to the bathroom or get a cup of tea? How sad is that? Like, if you die during an earthquake or something, if you die at your computer, wasting your time desperately looking for a chance to glance at my fully clothed ass, how are you going to explain that? Just imagine yourself dying and you have to explain to your buddies, you know, like they're all dead and they're just like, so, how did you die? What were you up to? And you were like, nothing, because your last memory in life was you wasting what pathetic last ounce of it you had looking for the softest of softcore porn when you have a repertoire of literally trillions of willing women who will happily show you their ass for free on the internet, and you wasted your time trying to force me to produce sexual content against my will for you. Why? At least 17 of the people who've clipped my ass ever are probably in chat. This is for you.
Like Sweet Anita mentioned in that clip, female streamers have to come up with strategies to avoid the wrong kinds of attention in a space that has community guidelines that should be used to keep users safe from these types of harassment. It is clear to see why the main demographic of Twitch is young males, with their policies protecting young men and actively harming young women, causing the censorship of her own body in her own home, and the unclear policies that can be used by malicious men to report and therefore silence the women of the Twitch community. Despite the inclusion in the content policy that one is not allowed to use them to harass users, it happens often without consequence.